Greetings, people. We back again. Mr. President here. Right. We are still revisiting the fixed assets and together with our internal controls. So it really doesn't differ from grade 10, 11, and 12. The note still remains the same. Yeah. Except that the confusion grows as your grades also grow. So let us begin. So first things first, you want to start with your financial year. So they told us that information released to us under traders for the year ended 29 February 2024. So it means the starting of the financial year, it'll be on the 1st of March 2023 until the very same 29 February 2024. Perfect. So 1.1, they told us to calculate the missing figures denoted Roman figure 1 until Roman figure 5, which is in the fixed asset note. So let us quickly revisit that. So we have Roman figure 1. So the Roman figure 1, that is the cost at the beginning. And by the look of things, we have additions at cost, and we also have the cost at the end. So one thing you must understand about land and buildings is that it doesn't depreciate. So the cost of the land and buildings will somehow remain the same as part of your carrying value of the very same land and building. Perfect. So there's a couple of formulas that I used to like using when I was still in high school. So you want to relate your cost with your cost, relate your depreciation with your depreciation, and also relate your carrying value together with your carrying value. So cost at the beginning, once you add it with your additions at cost, you minus the disposal cost. Not the carrying value, people. The disposal cost, the very cost of something that we have disposed of. As you do those calculations, you will instantly get your cost at the end. It's something that you must understand. So now, to get our Roman figure 1, we have to first identify what do we have and what don't we have. Cost at the beginning, that's the Roman figure 1. That's the one that we're looking for. We don't have it. So hence, we're going to place it as Roman figure 1. But what about additions at cost? We have 750,000. So that is a plus 750,000. Now, do we have disposal cost? No, we don't have disposal cost. And when you look from your information B, they said to us there, no land and buildings were sold during the year. So nothing about land and buildings had actually took place. So meaning disposal at cost, it's just going to be a minus 0. Then what about your cost at the end? Your cost at the end is still going to be our beautiful 4 million right there. Then now you check. I don't have this, I have these and that. So in pure mathematics, we already know that we would transpose 750. But the most advisable way, it's just for you to reverse your calculations. So going down, you would add and minus. So when going from down to up, you reverse every sign. Whatever there was a minus, you add it. Whatever there was a plus, you minus it. So anyways, you would have 4 million. You reverse your calculations by minusing 750,000. Then instantly, your Roman figure 1 would be 3,250,000. Then that is your cost at the beginning. Then now, the second Roman figure 2, they want us to calculate the carrying value on the 1st of March 2023. And this is the formula to it. Carrying value is just equal to your cost minus your accumulated depreciation. It's something that you should understand. So, do we have carrying value? No, we don't have carrying value. It's just a Roman figure 2. You write it as it is. Do we have the cost at the beginning? Yes, we have 600,000. Do we have the accumulated depreciation? Yes, which is 180,000. So you minus 180,000 there. So let us quickly punch that inside our calculator. So that would be 600,000 minus 180,000. Then instantly, your Roman figure 2 is now equal to 420,000. Simple and easy, just like that. Right. Now, with the Roman figure 3 that we are now going to, they're looking for the depreciation for the year. So depreciation for the year, you must be extra careful. The first thing that you're supposed to check is to check if whether you have the old equipment to yourself and you either have purchased a new equipment or you have disposed any form of an equipment. Those three things are very much important. Then now, let us begin. Of course, we have the old equipment, and by the look of things, we also had additions at cost for 90,000. So we have the new equipment in the business. But what about the disposal? Let us check the disposal. So based on equipment, they said depreciation is calculated on equipment 10% per annum on diminishing balance method. New equipment was purchased on 1st July 2023. No equipment was sold. So no equipment was sold, right? So now there's a box which I was introduced to back in my early grades. You determine your date. You tell us the cost of whatever that you're looking for. It's accumulated depreciation. You tell us the percentage. Then you tell us the method. This is a box that is always meant to guide you, always. So you first look, what do I want to calculate? Do I want to calculate the sold equipment or the old equipment? And I would love to start with my old equipment. So with the date, it's not that important. It's because it's going to last us from 1st March 2023 until 29 February. So with the old equipment, you only consider the information up there. Then what is your cost? Your cost, that is a 600,000. What about your accumulated depreciation? They told us it's 180,000. The relationship between the two, you get the carrying value. And we got it earlier on as 420,000. Perfect. And then what about the percentage? They told us the percentage is 10%. There you write your 10%. Then you look, what is your method? So they told us the method is diminishing balance method. So by diminishing balance method, they mean use your carrying value to calculate for the depreciation that you're looking for. So with the old equipment depreciation, simple. You're just going to take your 600,000, you minus your 180,000, you would get your 420,000. Then after getting your 420,000, you multiply that by the percentage which you were told about. And because this lasted us for 12 months out of 12 months, you just multiply by 12 over 12. And then by calculating it there, you would instantly get 42,000. So that's the old depreciations, the old equipment's depreciation. And now you have to now look, okay, what am I looking for? Okay, now you're still dealing with the same depreciation, but the only difference with this depreciation is that now you're dealing with the new one right there. So what is the new one? The new one, they said it's 90,000. So you first determine its date, and they told us that the new equipment was purchased on 1st July 2023. So we had this asset from 1st July 2023. What is the cost of this equipment? The cost of this equipment is 90,000. What about the accumulated depreciation? Well, it's still new, so we cannot know what its accumulated depreciation is because it's still new to the business. The percentage still remains the same, and so does the method. So in this scenario, our accumulated depreciation is just a 0, and 90,000 minus 0, you would get 90,000. So now you take your 90,000, you multiply with the very same percentage of 10 over 100 or 10%. Then you look, out of 12 months of the financial year, how many months did we have this asset? So we had this asset from 1st July 2023. So you're going to have to count from July 2023 until February. And that is July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So how many months? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've had this asset for 8 months. Then you want to quickly punch that inside your calculator. So it's going to be 90,000 times 10 over 100 times our 8 over 12. then instantly you would get your beautiful 6,000. So this is the depreciation of the new equipment. But bear in mind, they're looking for the depreciation for the year, not for the old equipment alone, and neither for the new equipment alone. So the total depreciation for the year, you must add your old equipment depreciation together with your new equipment depreciation. So the same thing still will apply. So you take your 42,000, you add it with your 6,000, and instantly you would get your 48,000. And that's the total depreciation for the year. Simple and easy, just like that. Now with the Roman figure 5, they're looking for the disposal at carrying value. Disposal at carrying value, not disposal at cost, not even disposal of the depreciation of the disposal. No, but the disposal at carrying value. Perfect. So now let's first check from our information what is actually happening. So they told us that a delivery vehicle was sold for 115,000. Just because they sold it at this much, it don't mean it's its value. So what we sell it for, it will never equal its actual carrying value. But sometimes it can. But let's prove first if this is equal to the carrying value or not. And they said it was sold on cash on the 31st of December 2023. So when was it sold? It was sold on the 31st of December 2023. Right, then we check its cost. You also check its accumulated depreciation, the percentage, and also the method. So by the look of things, they said to us, details extracted from the asset register regarding this vehicle. They said the cost price, that's a question mark. And what about the accumulated depreciation? They said it's 215,000. So you fill in what you now have, then you figure out the rest later. Then what is the percentage? They said on vehicles is 12% on cost. Then that is 12%. Then the method is on cost price. So what do they mean by cost? By cost, they mean you only get to determine your depreciation by multiplying your percentage together with your months using your cost price of an asset. Perfect. So meaning now we're not going to do the relationship. We're not going to find out the relationship between the cost and the accumulated depreciation, but rather we use that cost to determine our depreciation. So by the look of things, since it was a question mark, we can observe that we had the cost at the beginning, right? We also had additions at cost, which is 120,000 right there. So we had additions and now we have the cost at the end. So the same formula earlier on that we used, I said cost at the beginning, you add with your additions at cost, you minus your disposal cost, then after minusing your disposal cost, you get your cost at the end. So now let's identify what do we have. We have the cost at the beginning, which is 680,000. We have the additions at cost of 120,000. The disposal cost, it's what we don't have. You put a question mark there because that's what we're looking for. Then what about your cost at the end? We have 440,000 as part of our cost at the end. So 440,000 is what we want, right? Then you still want to apply the same thing by reversing all your calculations. So you want to quickly add your 680 together with your 120,000, and instantly you would get your 800,000. You minus it, your 440,000, and when we quickly punch that inside our calculator, we will get 360,000. So meaning 360,000 was the actual cost of whatever that we are disposing. So you want to write it as 360,000 there. Then you determine the relationship between the two, which is the carrying value. There's a specific reason why it is advisable to always determine the relationship between the two. In this video, I doubt what I'm assuming would happen, but as we go by and do more of the fixed assets, we will understand why we always have to determine our carrying value. Right, so this is the asset that we are disposing of, right? And you must also be careful of the date. So by disposal at carrying value, people, this is the formula there. You take the cost of this vehicle, you minus its accumulated depreciation, and then you minus its current depreciation, right? So we do have the cost, we do have the accumulated depreciation. There we found the two, but we don't have the current depreciation. Why don't we have the current depreciation? It's because we haven't yet calculated for it up until the date of being sold, right? So it means this asset, it was with us from the 1st of March until December. So it's March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So meaning January and February, this asset was no more. And because they said 31st of December, December would be included. But had they said 1st of December, then you would know that December wouldn't have to be included. Perfect. So it means how many months? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So for 10 months, we've had this asset. So you take your 360,000. Remember, it's cost price method. So you use your cost price to determine your depreciation. 360,000, you multiply by the 12%. Then you multiply by the number of months out of 12. So this asset lasted us for 10. We used it for 10 months out of 12 months. So quickly you want to punch that inside your calculator. 360,000, you multiply by a 12%, then you multiply by a 10 over a 12. Then instantly you would get 36,000. Beautiful, just like that. This 36,000, that's the current depreciation that we were looking for. So now to get your disposal at carrying value, which is your Roman figure 4, you check your cost first, which is 360,000, your accumulated depreciation, which is 215,000, and then you also check your current depreciation, which is 36,000. So when we punch that inside our calculator, instantly you would get your 109,000. So this confirms what I was talking about earlier, that the price of which an asset is sold at, it's not really that carrying value. So we sold it at 115,000, but its original value was 109,000. So meaning, by the look of things, when you try and relate these two values, it means the business has made a profit based on this asset. And just like that, you get it all. Thank you, people. President to the world.